but we still gotta legally tell you. I'm like, okay. At this point, I'm about ready for anything, so we had to deal with that. So this is about a year and a half, I think, after I basically vanished. So we're about that far in. And so eventually we ended up doing that, and I had to move to Central BC, Northern BC, whatever you want to call it, because I had gotten an 8-month job there as a co-op, and it was effectively the last thing I needed to do before I got my degree. And they're like, okay, we can set you up there. There is a clinic there. Just let your workplace know so that they can actually like act. Oh man, I fucking hate these guys. I don't actually know how to fight them without getting just ruined. Because they like spray you with water, and I don't know how to not get sprayed with water. Whatever, oh hey, hello. I shouldn't be doing that. I didn't want to do that. Oh, that's right, I can't double dip on that. It's like, okay. So I started that, and they're like, okay, so once you start that, you're going to need to get a you're gonna need to get a blood test done every 2 months or so, because it's a pretty strong drug, and we need to know if your liver is failing. Also, when you go in for a dose, there's a bunch of health monitoring things we got to do to make sure that the act of administering the drug isn't killing you either. It's because like as you go up in sort of severity, because like that's an IV drug. The other thing I was on, I effectively have to go in for an IV every 2 months. Actually, it recently got moved up to every month because I did respond well, but not well enough that the problem is solved. There's still some small amount. Even now, I'm not 100%. I'm at 90. But I finished my degree. I'm basically waiting to get confirmation of my graduation so I can apply for my EIT, so I can like actually continue with my life. And this is sort of an update for all that. But yeah, effectively, I'm doing a hell of a lot better now. And just recently, like even just like 2 months ago, I started being, like a month ago actually, I started being able to just sleep through and... What are you doing? Stop that. Stop that. I started being able to sleep through an entire night without waking up to have to go 2 or 3 times. And it's like, you shouldn't... do I get anything for cutting him? No, it's just for winding him. You should never take for granted normal health. Because I'm never going to be normal again, even if I do get the surgery. I'm effectively going to have to change my diet, and I'm without a colon, things are going to be moving through me a lot faster. I still have mine, by the way, and I'm on a mostly normal schedule. It's just that there's some occasional blood, which that sounds alarming, and in absolute terms it is. But I'm so much better than where I was at that I'm like, oh hey, it's not even worth talking about. Well, it's not even worth like talking about to myself like, oh man, I'm not better. I am so much better than I was. On the way to Northern BC, before I was on the drug, we had to stop like every hour or two because sitting in a car still brought me back to a very bad place, even with my better than before health. Oh, goddamn. Can I wind him? Yes, I can. I think I wind you again. I do not. I guess I did, but the wind was already affecting them, so whatever, they're dead. Yeah, so I'm basically almost entirely fine now. I've got another IV coming in a couple weeks from this date. This date being the day that I uploaded that first Undertale video with the with my buddy and the noise suppression on, which I It's been so long that the last time I recorded something, when I didn't have Windows 10. So that's what that's about. Windows 7 didn't have like automatically turning on noise suppression. Ow! That's rude. That was very rude. Oh, I don't want you dead yet. Thank you. I need to be able to drop you and then piss on you. Thank you. I seem to recall at some point doing that used to give, goddamn. Do I bomb them then? Because the second wind didn't do nothing. Nope. Oh well, I'm at 100,000 now, so that's nice. Oh, I could have been switching to sword this whole time. But I'm about to get a new sword, I'm fairly sure. I should be looking for more stray beads, but I'm gonna be going through this area quite a bit, so I can figure that stuff out as it sort of becomes relevant. I think there's one more. Oh yeah, this over here. I cannot dig through that. But yeah, and that brings us to today in May. Almost 2 years to the date that I started coming down with symptoms. Before that, I busted my hands, which came up in the last Okami episodes, and I slipped and fell on my tailbone because that was an icy ear, and that wasn't a very pleasant experience. I had trouble walking for a couple, and then I just got sick for 2 months as soon as that finished. And it's just like, how could this possibly get any worse? And it did. It got extremely worse. It got, like, as bad as it could have gotten. I got shit to sell, don't I? Well, as bad as it could have gotten was cancer, but I got the thing that's a precursor to cancer that I gotta get scoped every so often so that I know that I don't have the cancer, or at least a developing version of the cancer. Because that's a thing I gotta watch out for now. Don't have it yet, but it's gonna happen eventually. Well, it's not gonna happen, it's not guaranteed. It's just... and it's colon cancer, which is the second most lethal kind, but if it's caught early, which if I'm already in the running to get regular scopes done, which I am, thankfully, because if you're trying to get from scratch, you gotta wait 2 years, as I found out, until a point where you're actually dying. Cause I'm pretty salty about the Canadian healthcare system right now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say that I wish I had the American system, cause I don't. Cause that's not great either. But our system is nothing to brag about to anyone. Cause like, yeah, you gotta pay out the ass for American healthcare, but at least like you can get it on time. The only reason my shit got as bad as it did is because I was made to wait so long, and it was allowed to progress and progress and progress to the point where, yeah, I've got to use this damn near nuclear option, the nuclear option being the actual surgery, in order to just get to just to have a hope of getting to normal, and I'm not even there yet. And the way we have universal like healthcare in terms of like in terms of getting to see like a general doctor or like a gastroenterologist. You do have the option to get private care as well, because some people can't afford to wait, and even if it's not as bad as you have to go to the emergency room, which it did get for me, which was actually the thing that helped me sort of get to a point where I could actually get diagnosed and get treated. But there are sort of sparse systems for getting drugs covered by your government. In British Columbia, where I'm at, we have pharmacare, which is for low income, and then there's fair farmer care for everyone. And thankfully, the heavy duty drug that I'm on, specifically my gastroenterologist had lobbied the government to cover it. Oh, okay, I guess that was a horrible night to have a curse. So, at least for a number of doses, I don't have to pay. Which is great, because the money I made from my job is enough to cover the loans I had to take in my final year. Because all my other sort of sources that I was paying for school with ran out. So I had to take loans, but I have enough to cover them. And, I don't want to go complete... Even though, like, I'm dealing with interest by not paying all up front, I still have other things that I need to pay for. And I don't want to just suddenly just have no money. They'll be paid off by next year. No problem. And by then, well, if I do end up with, if I get my EIT done, when I get my EIT going, there's no if at this point. I have no room in my mind for an if at this point. My body failed me in an extremely spectacular way. If I don't come out of this as a professional engineer, then literally I've wasted my life. There's no more ifs. There's no more, oh, I'll just do something else. No, this is it now. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to, what? Oh, seriously?